Couple of tips of a really cute and easy way to dress up your Easter centerpiece with some fresh grown wheatgrass. Now this can be done either with true wheatgrass or it can be done with ryegrass, both of which germinate really rapidly and will grow in just about anything. This won't work with fescue seed or any of the seed blends that you might have for outdoors, but if you have some annual ryegrass or if you have some wheatgrass seeds or just whole wheat kernels, you can buy this at most stores in bulk. These are wheat berries. You can buy bags of them, or you can find them in the bulk food section a lot, and they're fairly inexpensive. So they would be listed either as wheat berries or wheat seed. You could look at a local seed retailer for something like that too, or for annual ryegrass. You don't want the perennial kind and you don't want any of the fescue grass mixes. Has to be one of those two, because both of these will germinate and you're going to have a cute little indoor lawn of grass to decorate around for your Easter table. So I wanted to show you the steps to do this, and then a couple of different ways to use it, because this stuff will grow in anything as long as there is some moisture to it. So when you first buy your wheat berries, and that's what I'm using here, they're going to come dry, and they're just these little kernels. You can cook these and put them on salads, or just eat them as a side dish. But the first thing that you're going to want to do with them, they're obviously going to come dry, but the first thing you're going to want to do is to soak them overnight. And you're going to notice that after you soak them, they're going to plump up quite a bit. The color changes a little bit. And so you're just going to put them in a bowl. And because it's fairly inexpensive to buy these, go ahead and get quite a bit and soak it, because it's easy to just trim off what you don't need, and you always want to have a little bit more than what you actually need. And since what we're going to be actually making here is a little carpet of sod, you can trim it to fit whatever it is that you want. And so you can grow your wheatgrass either on the container that you're going to use, or you can grow it separately, literally like sod, and then cut it to fit. The advantage of growing it on the container or the display that you want to use on the table is that it's already done. And so what I'm going to do is use paper towels as the base. And so I'm going to start off with this white serving tray. And so I'm going to use this on my table, tablecloth on it, and then I'm going to use this as the centerpiece. And so what I'm going to do is I cut or really just folded a piece of paper towel to fit inside of this. If it doesn't fit perfectly, that's okay, because you can trim it off. So once you've got it roughly the shape that you want to use, I just added some water so that it is nice and damp on there. I'm going to take my already soaked wheat berries. You can do this with the dry ones, but if you soak it overnight, that's going to give it a little bit of a jump start. And that'll have them ready in time for next weekend. So it takes about 2 to 3 days for these to germinate, and then takes about another 5 days for them to grow on. So this weekend is the time to be doing this. So you might need to run out to the store if you don't have any wheat berries on hand. So I'm going to show you a little trick. Once you have poured some water and gotten your paper towel nice and soggy wet, in my mind, I know that I'm going to add some flowers to this, right? It's tulip season, and we have tulip bunches that are going to be available for Easter if you want to pick up a bunch of those and have for your Easter table. So I know that I want to add some flowers to this. And so I'm going to start with my tray, and what I'm going to do is put the container that I'm going to use for my centerpiece arrangement in the middle of this. And it could be a pot of this. It might also be some different figurines. And remember, if you don't do this up front and you just grow a solid mat of wheatgrass, that's okay. You can always cut a circle out. But a really nice way to do this is to go ahead. I've got this cute little Peter Rabbit pot that I think my mom gave to me. So thanks, Mom. Anyway, so what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to hold the space for it. So I put it in place where I'm going to keep it on the tray. So I'm going to have it a little bit off center. I don't want it in the dead center because I'm going to put some other things on it. And now I'm going to take those soaked wheat berries and I'm going to spread them in a fairly thick layer. You don't want them to be too thick because each one of these is literally going to grow up to be a single blade of grass. But you want to cover up all of the paper towel, so smooth it out. And you will not believe that the roots of this will find their way. You are going to have to babysit it a little bit this week, so it can't dry out. You're going to need to water this every day. Not a lot. You don't want it to be soaking wet since you've already soaked the seeds. Once they've been 24 hours in the water, they're going to be ready to sprout up, and you're going to see this happen really, really fast. And it helps to keep these in some sunlight. That's going to help them germinate and grow on and be bright green as well. So what I did is I've just spread all of the grass around this. Now, if I had wanted to add another element on here, like maybe I have a little rabbit figurine or maybe a cross or some eggs or something, you could also put that so that it grows around it. Now, if you have something that you are going to want to use for your container, but it is porous and it wouldn't do well to sit on that wet pad. So I've got another tray here. If I put my paper towel on this, and this one is not cut to fit, it won't matter because once the seeds germinate on this, I can just trim off those edges. But I was kind of thinking that it would be cute with a little basket, and I've got this cute little hen who's going to sit in here, and I might like to put some things around the edge there, but I don't want this basket to sit in water for a week. So what I'm going to do, instead of letting that hold the place, I'm going to use a bowl or something else that is roughly that same size to hold the place, and I'm going to put my seeds around that. So once they grow up, I can easily take that out next Saturday or Sunday morning and plug my little basket back in once everything is all grown up. You may find that if you get a week's worth of growth on your wheatgrass, that you actually need to mow. You need to trim it back. It might get a little too tall, and that's totally fine. You can take a pair of scissors and cut it back to whatever height you want so that it can show off the edges there. But for this particular one, I am going to stick with this particular seed. I also thought about it would be cute. I've got this little bunny shaped ramekin here. I've got a couple of different shapes of this. I could just put water in this and have these grow up, and it would just be the shape of the bunny, and you could even take it out and use it on a white tray or another background. So you can do all kinds of fun things with this. I also have this cute little rabbit with this tiny little basket that he has. It normally would hold an egg or something in it, but if you wanted to do that, I just wadded up a little piece of paper towel and would stick that down in there, put a little bit of water, and then sprinkle some seeds. So he would have a tiny little basket, and maybe you have a small egg once the grass has grown up that you want to sort of nestle down in that, or maybe some jelly beans or something. So that's the way that you're going to get started. So again, the first step is get your wheatberry or your ryegrass seeds. If you can find organic, that's ideal, because this is wheatgrass like you would juice. So once you grow this, you can eat it if you'd like, especially if it's organic. If you're buying ryegrass from a home improvement store, I don't think I would do that. But if you've got organic wheat, you definitely could use that and throw it into a smoothie or something else, a salad or something that you're making. So step one is to get your seed. Step two is to soak it overnight or for 24 hours in just regular water on your kitchen counter, and just let that sit. And then go ahead and soak your paper towel, make your arrangement how you want to do, and leave that out. So I'm going to post some pictures of the ryegrass starting to grow and what it looks like as it germinates. But remember that you need to water this every day. You've got to keep those seeds moist for them to germinate, and you've got to keep that paper towel wet. You don't want them standing, like sitting in water, but you want it really damp to the touch, and you're going to be surprised at how quickly these grow. And once this starts to come up, I've got my container all ready. I can take my spring tulips and narcissus and I can make a cute little arrangement, and it's going to be a nice little outdoor scene for me to put on my Easter table. So I hope this is a fun thing for you to try this weekend. We're supposed to have some rain tomorrow, so it might be a good indoor project. Super fun for kids when you dye your Easter eggs. This would be a great way to display those, and maybe some jelly beans or whatever else that you like to put on your Easter table. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to try this. I would love to see your photos and follow along with how your wheatberry seeds are germinating, and I will share mine too. Thanks guys, happy Easter.